Queen Nzinga Mbambe, a warrior queen of the Nzinga and Matamba, and one of the greatest female African rulers. She led the stiffest opposition to European domination in Africa's interior, winning battle after battle against the Portuguese. Nzinga, also known as Ana de Sousa Nzinga Mbambe, was a 17th century queen of the Ndongo and Matamba kingdoms of the Mbundu people in southwestern Africa. Angola was both a name and a title in Ndongo. Nzinga was a powerful monarch who successfully kept the Portuguese out of her land for 35 years. In order to fight off Portugal, who wanted to conquer the area to further the slave trade, she conquered neighboring kingdoms to expand her territory and aligned herself with the Dutch. During the late 16th century, the French and the English threatened the Portuguese near monopoly on the sources of slaves along the West African coast, forcing it to seek new areas for exploitation. By 1580, they had already established a trading relationship with Afonso I in the nearby Congo Kingdom. The Portuguese established a fort and settlement at Luanda in 1617, encroaching on Mbundu land. In 1622, they invited Ngola, King Mbambe, to attend a peace conference there to end the hostilities with the Mbundu. Mbambe sent his sister Nzinga to represent him in a meeting with Portuguese Governor João Correa de Sousa. Nzinga was aware of her diplomatically awkward position. She knew of events in the Congo which had led to Portuguese domination of the nominally independent nation. She also recognized, however, that to refuse to trade with the Portuguese would remove a potential ally and the major source of guns for her own state. In the first of a series of meetings, Nzinga sought to establish her equality with the representative of the Portugal crown. She converted to Christianity and adopted the name Dona Ana de Sousa. Shortly afterwards, Nzinga ordered the conversion of her people to Christianity. In 1626, Nzinga became Queen of the Mbundu when her brother committed suicide in the face of rising Portuguese demands for slave trade concessions. Nzinga, however, refused to allow them to control her nation. In 1627, after forming alliances with former rival states, she led her army against the Portuguese, initiating a 30-year war against them. She exploited European rivalry by forging an alliance with the Dutch, who had conquered Luanda in 1641. With their help, Nzinga defeated a Portuguese army in 1647. When the Dutch were in turn defeated by the Portuguese the following year and withdrew from Central Africa, Nzinga continued her struggle against the Portuguese. Now, in her 60s, she still personally led troops in battle. She also orchestrated guerrilla attacks on the Portuguese, which would continue long after her death and inspire the ultimately successful 20th century armed resistance against the Portuguese that resulted in independent Angola in 1975. Despite repeated attempts by the Portuguese and their allies to capture or kill Queen Nzinga, she died peacefully in her 80s on December 17, 1663.